Hello and Namaskar. Like every day, we are back with another episode of Career Corner. This is our daily episode of 1 hour in which we focus on one domain which is of close interest and something that every youngster would like to pursue, or rather a group of youngsters would be passionate about. We have brought to you careers related to various fields by now, and today we are in a very interesting area, the domain of finance, accounts and economics. This is a large domain. A lot of possible careers can come out of it, and there are a lot of perceptions even of the common man with respect to finance, accounts and economics. We have an expert today, but before I introduce the expert, let me raise the questions. These three terms, which are often used interchangeably, and a few other terms as well, like finance, banking, insurance, taxation, accounts, direct indirect taxes, economics, macroeconomics, microeconomics, challenges before Indian economy. These are some terms which will be coming in the lexicon of any educated person at least once or twice every day, irrespective of the field that the person is in. And to throw light on these concepts, differentiate and delineate each of them, and also throwing light on the careers emanating from these concepts, we have with us a very seasoned person of the field of finance and accounts, someone who has been Chief Finance Officer for several organizations in the past, and today is the Chief Finance Officer and President Finance and Accounts of the Rice Education Group, which has Rice Education, Adamas International and Adamas World Schools and Adamas University. I am talking about none other than Miss Anju Mitra, the Chief Finance Officer of the Rice Group. Thank you, madam, for your presence today in the studio.
Thank you so much,
It's
sir.
an honor to have you here, and for an area which I know very little of, and this will be a 50 minutes of personal learning for me, from you, as we speak throughout the next 50 minutes.
Exactly.
Often these words, as I have just now mentioned, in common man's language, in your mind it must be very clear, crystal clear, people of your domain may know it much better. But for average educated person, finance, banking, accounts and economy almost come together. Yes. They cannot even differentiate.
What is
so
that?
Let's begin with that. How do you differentiate between these terms?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to speak here and communicate to you what idea I have about the subject and the different domains and the differentiation between the small words but big difference.
Right.
So your first question to me was regarding what is the difference between accounts, finance, economics and your banking and insurance, right?
Right, insurance.
So in terms of the accounts, what we say generally, accounts is a keeping of books.
Right.
Keeping of books means the way let us start it from home. Right. In our house, even once a salaried person comes along with the money at the beginning of the month, we start planning that what are the monthly expenditure we are going to incur, what are the monthly other sources of income we have in case, like somebody may own a house which has been given for the rented, as the rented to the banking industry or to any personal person or to any office for the purpose of the commercial use. So that income can be there, interest from different banks can be there, from the savings account or from the fixed deposit account. So these are the 3, 4, 5 hits by which a person can earn, or a person can have a tuition income as well. So that can also be recorded. So those income we record in one side, and the expenditure which we incur in the entire month for the fooding, for the for the vehicle, medicines, for the petrol, for the vehicles and anything like any expenditure which we incur, maybe for the social work. So these all are accounted in the other side, and at the end of the month we get to understand what is the balance in our hand, that is called our savings. But savings has got another two part again. From the amount earned, if you have saved something already, that was your fixed savings, and at the month end whichever you are saving is your during the month the way you have run your expenditure and you have saved, that is your extra saving. So that is the focus when we run our house. Similar is in the case of the small company or a big company. Everywhere the recording system is like there has to be income, there has to be expenditure. Expenditure may have got two parts. One is for the capitalization of the expenditure, for the capitalized item, other one is for the revenue item. So for this capital item and the revenue item, what again we prepare? We cannot prepare profit and loss account with the capital expenses. So what do? We prepare a outflow.
And you have
Means
an amortization over a period of time.
yes,
right?
yes. So we prepare outflow. That means what was the inflow in particular month or a year, and then what was the outgo in a particular month or a year, that is called outflow. So this inflow and outflows balance at the beginning of the month, at the year or at the end of the month is the money which you could accumulate to run the second, okay, the money which you could accumulate to run the second month as well. So the point is very clear, like you have to have inflow, you have to have outflow.
Right.
Out of that again there are two divisions. One is capital income or revenue income.
Right.
Then again there is a division, capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. All this capital income and revenue income has to be recorded in your balance sheet, means in your asset side and in your capital introduction side, and whatever revenue income and revenue expenditure you have incurred, that will get recorded in the profit and loss account.
So this gives the accounts. the
Yeah, this
domain
is
of
what
accounts.
about is the accounts.
Right.
Now
Finance?
comes the finance. What does this finance means? Finance, a little part starts from the inflow and outflow.
Right.
If I have an income of 1 lakh rupee a month, suppose, and I am interested in making investment somewhere in some business.
Right.
So what will be the quantum of my money which I will invest there, and what will be the return which I will get from that particular investment or that particular project, that has to be understood. So suppose thinking a small stall in Durga Puja. We have thought of giving a food stall in Durga Puja in certain pandal space or Madak Square, whatever you can say. So if we start from that small venture, you will have some money in hand,
Right.
either on your own, or you might have other people, your friends have contributed to it. You will run the venture for 10 days for a certain period of time, in which you will have certain fixed expenditure, means you will have to have stall, you will have to pay the rent for the stall, you have to have the employees over there for few days, you will have to have the cook for few days. But there are other expenses which are non-recurring in nature.
Right.
So recurring expenses and non-recurring, these are non-recurring expenses which you will have to incur, and recurring expenses are those which will depend on the quantum of food you could sell out.
Right.
So whatever is your consumption during the day, in these 10 days on different days, accordingly you need to invest the money. You may get one benefit from people, like those people who are giving money product to you, you can avail the credit facility from them.
Right.
So you might not require at that point of time that particular cash to buy the material,
Right.
to buy the groceries. So that means there are two ways again. One is your credit facility which you have, one is your cash component which you have, cash facility which you have. So this cash facility, credit facility, availment of these facilities in terms of that Durga Puja Pandal food stall is same as in terms of the other big industry or small industry or any MSME.
Right.
Everywhere the utilization of money, utilization of inflow has to be in such a way that to run the operational expenses there should be money available for not less than 2 months to avoid any emergency.
Right.
Like in this present scenario, we can understand many of you have that big cash in hand to run this 3 months continuous lockout. So we should understand from this at least that finance and managing finance is very important.
So critical point, getting resources for your planned expenditure and
Is very
planning
important.
it in advance is the role of finance.
Exactly.
And keeping the books of the actual income and expense
Exactly.
item wise
Exactly.
will be accounts.
Exactly.
So one is the macro picture,
Exactly.
the other goes into the micro element of it, maintaining every item of the
Perfect.
books. Great. Economics and banking. if you
Regarding the economics, I would like to say it is basically related to lot of data.
can- Right.
Like again I'll speak about the current scenario wherein we see that nowadays even company like Amul, they have started producing the mask.
Right.
So many other industries are doing in the same way. Like this, your hotels who have such a big property, but they have the infrastructure for the sterilization or cleaning of the places. So they are doing that. They are utilizing their resources, manpower of the housekeeping and the product and the machineries, whichever they have for the cleaning of the other offices. So they are submitting quote from their offices, and other people the other side who needs to clean their office, they are utilizing those hotels for the purpose of the cleaning.
Right.
So we can understand this industry of sterilization has become big at present rather than any other industry. So maximum, if you see at this point of time, the food items or grocery or vegetables, whatever you say,
Right.
medicines and this cleaning process,
Right.
it is being more focused. So this hotel industry, as for the survival of the fittest, they have find out a way out.
Right.
So this is called planning, even for the sudden, even it has been
Right.
required suddenly.
Right.
So this is, this focus has to be there, that my industry, if gets stuck up for some reason, maybe nationwide, maybe local wide, or maybe your worldwide, how we can utilize our resources for the particular uses and can earn revenue and sustain our operational cost at least.
So basically, when the study of economics looks at the planning of resources, the procurement of resources, and
Exactly.
the utilization of the same with return on investment,
Exactly.
whether from at a micro level of a company or a
Exactly.
house, home, or at the macro level of the nation. So economics looks at this entire gamut.
Exactly.
Banking, what's the role of banking?
Banking is a platform where we can use many facilities. If we start again from home, we will have some extra money which we will save, or we will save in our recurring account or fixed deposit account. So that is your capital which you are building up from your own resources. If we start one industry, that also requires the capital. So from a very clean angle, if I say, the banking is the fair way of getting into a transaction, so that it is clear and perfect for everybody what was the mode of the transaction, what was the volume of the transaction, and how the transaction has happened.
Right.
So the transparency we can make, we can build up, we can get the confidence of the people through banking channel only.
So institution that legalizes transactions in financial world,
Yes.
and that brings in savings or helps people to do savings,
Exactly.
helps people to procure credit for their
Yes.
business,
Yes.
and also to as a fallback option when you need further growth,
Yes.
further
The
growth,
expansion is possible.
So an institution recognized by the government which deals into deposits and credits,
Exactly.
both sides, from savings point of view, from transaction point of view, from credit and expansion point of view.
Exactly.
So that's the banks.
Yes.
So we have got the concepts very clear from Madam Anju Mitra, the CFO of the Rice Education Group, specifically Adamas University. Here we are talking in context of Adamas University, who has delineated the finer details of various concepts connected to the domain of economics and finance. We move forward. Someone who looks at the nation's economic situation, there are certain challenges because COVID, there were challenges even earlier before pandemic as well. The economy wasn't doing very good, but now after pandemic, the situation is far more grave. So how would you analyze the current economic and finance situation of India, and what sort of suggestions you have? I understand it's a very long question, but in brief, what few top of the mind suggestions you have for people in the government to resort to handle this situation?
Yeah. First, let us discuss about this from the personal point of view. I have for anyone, for everyone, we should have skilled knowledge, not only education wise, but physically also. One should learn driving, one should learn stitching, whatever format it is. You should have 2-3 skills always learned and use it and keep it with you as a resource to be used at the time of the emergency. Like those people who are not having any business at present, if they knew this swing, at least they can sew the masks and they can prepare the handkerchiefs in such a way which the people are using at mass, they would have survived. So those who know this, who have this skill, they know the knowledge, they can do it. So from the individual perspective, my suggestion to everyone is this, that everyone must have that kind of knowledge or skill developed. The time is there still, so that at the time of the survival, when there is a question of survival, you should know some necessary skills, you should be skilled in some necessary domains, so that you can earn your bread and butter.
Right.
The situation at present for many of the people is that they do not have that skill capacity. the kind of skill they have, it is not at present, it is not, cannot utilize it for the reason, because the kind of situation we have.
Right.
From the state level or from the city level, if I say, the employees should think of performing better from home. Everybody at present is saying that whatever we are doing from home, we are doing much better than we are in the office, because we are focused, we know how to deliver, what to deliver at a particular point of time. You cannot delay it, you cannot keep it, because you have to speak upfront.
Right.
So this facility also have made people to learn about your discussion.
All right.
So the e-discussion is going on. So e-commerce, the way it was e-commerce, now it is e-discussion. Now it is e-performance rather.
Right.
So everything, whatever is available, all the people should start understanding that extra knowledge is very, very important. So in a city like us, people are not that advanced for the e-learning or the e-performance. Whereas in other cities like Bombay and or any other city if I name, they are very fast and they are adapted about it. They knew it from beginning. We had to learn and then we had to perform. So that is also a criteria for a person to understand the typical situation. From the national point of view, it seems like it will be very difficult for coming 6 months, though we have been given the facility of deferring the taxes, deferring the provident fund, not paying the penalties on that, not paying the EMIs and all that, but ultimately it will get piled up and a pressure will come on the people or the industry at a particular point of time to come out of it, because at this point of time we would also like to have the operational cost running. So if we do not have the operational cost running, it will be difficult for us to maintain the huge outstanding which we have created on our own, thinking that there is a big facility we are having. It is not the facility, it is only the deferment of the outgo which were required to pay. So banks will also may look from this perspective that there was deferment. So whatever repayment plan you have, again after 6 months, if the renewal is going on for your working capital or for your any other loan renewal, you will understand that there is a problem of the cash flow again.
Right.
So this says again a same thing, that everyone should have that kind of cash flow or that kind of fund in the hand. If there is emergency come, we can survive at least for 2-3 months minimum.
Right.
I cannot expect people to have 1 year's savings to have in the hand.
Right.
Cannot. But gathering skill, gathering knowledge to use it in the emergency. Those females in the villages, they have no education, they will have to send their kids to outside for the tuitions. If they would have the education, they could have taught them on their own.
Right.
So at least that money they could have saved. Similarly, from a small example, if we reach to the bigger example, if we have our expenditure or the expansions in such a way as per our capability and capacity, nation will not be in a problem. There will not be NPAs. As we are from the economic point of view, from the finance point of view, we are expecting there will be a lot of NPAs. We were just running to the crisis of the NPAs. Again, there is an addition of this NPA situation is coming to happen.
Right.
People will forget after 1 year when the COVID will go out, but they will always look at the historical part of the balance sheet that it was not good or it was not performed well. So these things we should keep in mind.
Thank you, ma'am. So far we have got a broad overview of economics, commerce, accounts, banking, and in general about the finance sector.
Yeah.
And we have also gone into some of the issues connected to the current economic challenges in the country, which you have looked at from an individual perspective.
Yeah.
More from an individual perspective, how people need to upgrade their skills and particularly learn to operate from a distance, maintaining physical distancing, but actually socially bonding through the internet, through the
various
media, right, very rightly. And you have said also that there is a need to save, because in these trying times, whatever is essential has to be spent, but there is also need to save for tougher months if there are, as an organization and as an individual.
Exactly.
Hey, Welcome to Adamas.
My research is on my way. I am very much proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Cricket is my passion and I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
You have misused, I believe.
Hi, I am Debosmita Biswas.
This is Kunal Kanti Maiti.
I am Srijoni Paul. This college has given me placement in one of the best companies in US staffing, which is Iconma. I am proud to be a part of Adamas University.
Pursue excellence.
Global society of nearly 8 billion people with 1.3 billion in India is going through a churn. Be it politics, economics, history, society, international relations, or in the literary expressions. There are major movements, growth initiatives, new literary trends, and the social issues rising in various parts of the world. Hence, the need to have an in-depth, perceptive education of liberal arts which encompasses all of these. Welcome to the Adamas University School of Social Sciences.
ভালো রোজগার, কাজের স্বীকৃতি, স্বপ্নের চাকরি, এগুলোর জন্য কি শুধুই কঠোর পরিশ্রম যথেষ্ট? না, এটা পড়াশোনা এবং প্রফেশনাল ট্রেনিং এর একটা কম্বিনেশন। তাই যে এমন একটি কলেজ বা ইউনিভার্সিটি যেটা এই দুটোরই গ্যারান্টি দেয়, যেমন অ্যাডামাস ইউনিভার্সিটি। এখানে ছাত্ররা শুধু পরীক্ষায় দারুণ নম্বরই নয়, সঙ্গে পায় দুর্দান্ত প্লেসমেন্ট এবং কর্মজীবনের প্রয়োজনীয় দক্ষতা। তাই আজই নিজেকে রেজিস্টার করো অ্যাডামাস ইউনিভার্সিটির অ্যাডমিশন টেস্টে, আর এগিয়ে যাও একটা উজ্জ্বল ভবিষ্যতের দিকে।
With a 2% share of the India's GDP, the media industry is growing faster than India's GDP. And with the world's largest number of films and television channels, it is the national informer and entertainer. With more than 1,000 films a year, cinema is our soft power. News, entertainment, brand communication, we lead Asia in all. And a multi-skilled multimedia talent is being trained in the Adamas School of Media and Communication. Pharmaceutical technology is on the rise in India in particular and Asia in general. And newer research in medicine is modernizing the sector immensely. We in India have the fastest growing pharma sector in the developing world today. Adamas School of Pharmaceutical Technology, with its superb and detailed laboratory facilities, has one of the best pharma schools in the nation waiting to welcome you. There is no more intellectual pursuit of knowledge higher than the liberal sciences, which encompass physics, chemistry, mathematics, geography, and psychology. Adamas University School of Sciences has seamlessly blended conceptual learning with practice and evolved BSc and MSc courses, leading to research, academic, and corporate careers for the learners. Welcome to the wonderful world of sciences at Adamas University.
Ma'am, for running this entire economy, this entire financial infrastructure of the nation, the financial institutions of the country. So many aspects are there of raising funds, of planning the funds, the use of the funds, and also ensuring that they are spent perfectly. There is a need for a trained professional army,
100%.
and these professionals could be finance analysts, planners, could be accountants and bookkeepers, as you said, could be those who are in strategic level at the, whether it's chartered accountants or company secretary or certified financial planners, so at that level, or it could be an expert of economics, understanding the entirety of the economics, macro or micro. So there is a need for several levels and grades of professionals. Could you speak on what are the various types of professions that come out from the finance sector?
Sure.
And what sort of education and skill sets are required for each? In a bit of details, can you
Sure.
bring those things?
Sure. Generally, when we speak about commerce or arts or science, whenever we speak about science, people are of the view either it will be a doctor definitely, and otherwise engineer or the tech person. If we talk about commerce, general view of the people is accountant, but it is not so.
Very good.
But it is not so. So, and if we talk about the arts, people think there will be literature and nothing else. But there is a huge gap between our understanding, general knowledge and common understanding, and the practical field which is available for the commerce people to use their capability, use their capacity, and learn and earn various degrees and enter into various professions.
Yeah.
Say we start from a small business again. If I have completed, suppose, a graduation degree, after that post graduation, people might think that I would like to go for the teaching profession. For that, whatever degrees I need to have, I will have, and we'll go into the academics.
Right.
I may think of, I will start manufacturing something very small, say your safety pin.
Right.
So I can start my safety pin business. If I start my safety pin business, I have to understand the entire commerce, what it is about. Right. So if we discuss about this safety pin business itself, there will be revenue, there will be expenditure, there will be capital expenses, there will be office required, there will be fund required, there will be taxation needs to be paid, there will be banking, there will be insurance, there will be valuation and what not. Now let's look at it from the very simple understanding.
Right.
I want to start a safety pin business. I have to have, suppose, 5 lakh rupees of capital. Now how do I find it out that I need only 5 lakhs or I need 10 lakhs or I need 20 lakhs? That means somebody has to value or project that business.
Right.
So an expert is required who can find out for me the techno-economic valuation report.
Okay.
That means technology, economic viability and the valuation, which is called TEV report. So might be we are thinking of this a safety pin business only, but this techno-economic viability report is, or valuation report is important for each and every industry. Whether you start a very small scale or whether you are a tailor, it is required. Might be the languages for the simple people are different, but basically the reason is, basically the understanding about it is very simple. Reasons are same for all the industries. Languages are different. Professional of the higher qualification, they talk it in a different way. People with the simple knowledge, they use the same thing but in a different format. So if we say techno, what is that techno? About the safety pin, we should have the machine which can produce faster safety pins, safe safety pins, less errors, less damages, clean and clear colors. So we have to have the technology in place in such a way which is not harmful, because we use it in a body part as well, sometimes entangled with the dresses or our sarees or any other material, right? Even for the batches it is required. So technology is one part which we have to understand. So the projection for the technology is required, right? Along with the projection, you have to have the finances in place, that how much money you need to invest initially, what will be your profit or running capacity in the next 6 months. So based on the production and the revenue, you will plan your next 6 months. At least you will give a business 1000 days time to establish and settle. So to run through this 1000 time, again you need to have the project workflow and the cash workflow. So then you can come to the conclusion that is, yes, this business is viable, or you need to change the module of the business.
So this entire domain of work which you explained is about financial planning strategy.
Exactly.
And what sort of background education is required for someone to get into financial technology planning, tech finance planning, as you've
Exactly.
said, and the strategy for doing, and even keep a track of the finances that they are going on as per the original plan. So what sort of education is required for that?
For this kind of education, you can do the, we can complete the graduation, post-graduation, and then we have the certified valuers, registered certified valuers. They generally calculate and certify the reports of this techno-economic valuation.
So
they prepare the viability.
The graduation program is BCom, MCom, and
Yeah, BCom,
explain
MCom.
that also.
Yeah, this is Bachelor of Commerce, maybe parts course, maybe honors, and Bachelor of, Master of Commerce, and even BBA can do this.
Yes.
So these are the different fields. You can use it for the purpose of the financing projection. And now adding it to this, these people, Bachelor of Commerce, pass honors and Master of Commerce, they can further use their capability and the capacity to transferring themselves into the banking industry by joining through the contractual process or appearing for the exams. Once you understand the subject, you can appear for the exams and you can go for the banking industry as well. Most of the private sector banks now hiring people, professional people from the outside on a contractual basis, giving a high package and utilizing their capacity and capability for the purpose of the viability of a particular loan or for a viability of a particular project. So you can utilize it for that purpose as well.
Right.
When you are having this qualification of graduation, the same way I am saying that you can do the valuation of the business or the project or any expansion. Similarly, you can go to the insurance industry as well, that which product you should accept as the coverage of the insurance, which vehicle should you accept as the coverage of the vehicle, or the personal coverage of the people, life and the general insurance. Right. So then by this way you can calculate the same also. For that also there is another course which you can do, again added course, and you can run this industry on your own even, and you can join as the employee as well.
Right.
So these are the fields which you can use.
As a consultant or as an employee?
Yeah, as an employee, as a consultant, even as an employer as well, you can work, you can have your own setup.
Right. So, and you said that BCom, MCom and certified planner or BBA also background can come forth.
Yeah.
Can you also talk about, there is this concept of company secretary, chartered accountants?
Yeah, now going further ahead and above, we are allowed to complete two professional courses simultaneously. Like someone is doing chartered accountancy, the person can do company secretary as well, the person can do the cost accountant as well, means which is ICMA nowadays. So either of two you can do. What I have done in my career, if I speak to you, my thought process was always that I have very little time, so I have to achieve something. What I did, most of the students does this at this point of time as well, they opt for two courses along with their normal studies. So they are sure that any one of them at least they will be able to achieve.
Sure.
And the syllabus is more or less same, combinations are very good. Suppose if you are a chartered accountant as well as a cost accountant, so you can be the cost auditor appointed by the government of India. For any field, for every field, there is a mandatory slab which you can use for the purpose of the cost auditor.
Right.
You can have your own business, you can be an employee. Having chartered accountancy and cost accountancy together means you are perfect, or you are learned rather, I would say, in the analysis of the costing of the organization as well as in the generation of the profit and planning of the finances as well, planning of the taxes as well.
Auditing as well.
Auditing as well. And in these two sectors there are some parts of the law as well. So for anything we start, suppose we start one small business or a big business, we have to have a land in place. Right. If you are going to have that land in rent, you have to have one agreement. If you are going to buy that land, you have to have a conveyance done or transfer the land in your favor. So you should have the knowledge of the legal as well. So this chartered accountancy and cost accountancy, they have the components of the studies in such a way, even including the computers as well. So you can understand the complete economy, how to handle from the rupee 1 investment to the payment of the taxes and ultimately savings of the organization and reinvesting the money. So this is the facility which we have. These courses allow you to go for certain training on their own.
There is another concept called company secretary.
Yeah, I'll come to the company secretary just after 1 minute.
Right.
There is a format for the this chartered accountant and cost accounting. They will have to go for the audit, for the banking audit as a trainers.
Right.
So these people they are paid stipend for that, and they get the hands-on practice.
Right.
Which we think that we read the book and we become the chartered accountant. It is not so. You will have to have the hands-on practice. Similarly, from the company secretary point of view, if you have opted for company secretary, you can parallelly do the LLB as well, because both have got very common subjects and very common papers with them, very common course material is there. So you can acquire 2 qualifications at one point of time. So the combination can be cost accountant company secretary, combination can be chartered accountant company secretary, combination can be chartered accountant cost accountant, combination can be your LLB or chartered accountant, LLB company secretary.
Yes,
any.
there is this LLB, BCom LLB.
Yeah, BCom LLB also you can do. So there are a lot of scope. This is what I am talking, only limited. Again, we can be the CFA, chartered your certified financial analyst, which always analyses about the your risk factors or the valuation of your business as a whole, valuation of the wealth as a whole. So these CFAs are also nowadays doing very well. You can become, to go further forward, you can become the MBA in finance, or in the MBA in marketing even.
Area. How different is MBA in finance with an MCom or with chartered accountancy, and why should there be an MBA in finance? What specialty is there, or what specialties of the other, or can you combine both? All those things.
Regarding the chartered accountants or company secretary or cost accountant, it is a mix of entire issues related to the taxation, receiving, payment, business, overall scenario.
Right.
So it has lot many things to learn and earn by way of auditing.
Right.
So once there is the process of audit, that means you have to have lot of skills and lot of knowledge of the fields, different fields.
Right.
Or different words which are associated with the total business of a country or whatever, right? So in this case, in the case of finance, it is those specific for the particular purpose, for the purpose of the financing. These people utilize themselves for many of the big activities, rather larger activities of the finance, which is specialization in the field. A person who is a chartered accountant can definitely be a MBA of finance to be more specific and a specialization, having specific specialization in a particular field. They can be MBA marketing, they can be MBA for your HR, but of course HR is different from this. But marketing and finance goes very well with the this chartered accountant and other commerce courses like MCom and BCom even.
Wow.
So
that's a long call. I mean, one can go from BCom, MCom to chartered accountant.
One more I would like to add, just to interrupting you. One more I can add you, like you can be the insurance agent, as I said. Actuarial science is doing now very well. Actuarial science is doing very well. Statistics are going far ahead of everything, because everyone needs the data on the tip of the fingers. So those fields are also working very well, like data analyst. If you are a data,
what is the qualification for that? For what is the degree qualification? What degree should be pursued for being a statistician, a data analyst? The point that you were saying.
Yes. So for the actuarial science, there is a specific course. After doing the graduation, you can parallelly go through these courses along with the chartered accountancy or company secretary, which I said, and you can earn this degree as well, professional qualification, which is called actuarial science qualification. And the other one is data analyst, which even a student is studying economics, he can be the very good data analyst, understanding the demands, understanding the supply, understanding the delivery, understanding the geographical economic situation of a place, how they can analysis and understand that which industry will work at which place in a better way.
Right, great.
Yeah.
So a combination can be done purely on commerce.
Yeah.
So BCom, MCom, chartered accountancy, cost accountancy.
Yes.
and it can be done from the BBA route as well.
Yes.
BBA, MBA finance, and then also you can do chartered accountancy.
Yes, yes.
And you can do cost and financial analysis,
Very-
CFA,
Yes.
and similar other courses.
Yes.
And there is another route for actuarial science and insurer.
Yeah.
So which can be done along with another certified course, or either a cost accountant or a chartered accountant. So the best part what I have understood here is that, and I think our viewers have also understood, that from the field of accounts and finance, after you do your masters, whether you do MBA finance or MCom, there is the possibility of dual specialized professional
Exactly.
courses.
That is the best part of
Minimum
it.
2 you can take up.
Yes.
And you can add on later on
Exactly.
furthermore.
To all the commerce and economics student, my advice will always be, please go for minimum 2.
Minimum 2.
Yeah,
And-
because these are very competitive. So you are secure that either one at least you will achieve. If somebody can do 3, it's nothing like it. So you can be a master in any field, which is also very simple. It's not difficult. Keep your timeline for 3 years for you only.
Right.
Your life will be flourishing, and it will be very, very nice.
So clearly 3 years for graduation, 2 years for masters, and 3 years for professional diplomas and certificate courses. So that's a great combination of 8 long years. The 18 plus 8, 26. By 26 you become so equipped that you can be at any level of finance and commerce, and you can be at the auditing level, you can be at the planning level, you can be at the strategy level, you can be at the cost valuation level. At various levels you could be. So by around 25 or 26 years of age.
That's the maximum years which I am seeing.
Yeah, I mean minimum
Yeah.
3 years you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
carry
yeah.
after
It's
the
very, very-
masters. But these courses can be done even after BCom, right?
Yeah, yeah. Even after
One can-
BCom you can do it.
So
yes.
one can do an MCom and alongside continue.
Yeah, yeah,
doing that.
exactly, exactly. So
you
that's why
can
that will
actually
also
quicken.
save. Yeah, that will
You
be
can quicken 1 year.
You
at
remember
least.
subjects at that one point of time. You can also contribute fast.
Right.
So only examination will be a challenge.
Right.
And of course, for these exams, I have one important advice to share. These are really 3 hours efficiency. You learn whole day, whole night, but efficiency is required in those 3 hours when you are appearing for the
Focused,
exam.
yes.
That focus is very, very important.
So 18 to 25, 7 to 8 years of life can take you to one of the highest positions in the world of finance and accounts. And as ma'am has said, she is herself a bachelor's, master's and a double professional qualification, chartered accountancy and cost accountancy.
Yes.
So double professional qualification. And if you can manage these in these 7 years of your life, fabulous next 50 years that can come out. Because from a small project to a national large project, even understanding of governments and their finances, at every level you could be helping at economic, financial and account strategy, valuation and management. Again, indeed very strong on that
Yeah.
front. Now there is some people would like to be entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So after BCom or after BBA or after MBA or MCom, they want to be entrepreneurs. They have family businesses. Many
Yes.
people have family businesses.
Yes.
They want to continue with that.
Yes.
What suggestions you have with respect to finance and commerce knowledge for an wannabe entrepreneur? What
Yeah.
should they study?
Yeah. See, for the purpose of the family business or to be the entrepreneur, my suggestion would be definitely go for these courses. Definitely whichever suits you or which you accept from your mind that you can learn quickly, and because you have to contribute to your business. So please definitely complete these professional courses, because those people with whom you will be working with, you should not look like a knobbish. Number one, this. And number two, if I would have been tried to become the entrepreneur, first I would have worked with the competitor. If I am a biscuit manufacturer, I must have worked for the biscuit manufacturer for 2-3 years to understand their style, and then implementing the good things from their business to our business, or improving the good things which you ever learned there that it should be improved, you can implement in your business. So my suggestion is, along with the qualifications, definitely try to work for not less than 3 years in other industry or in the same industry, for the understanding of the business as a whole, and to understand the pressure of the employees. Once you understand the pressure and the capacity of the employees, you become a very good employer to run the show along with the team, along with the understanding of the people, and you become their very lovable boss.
Right.
That would I would say.
Great. So an entrepreneur must be aware of the basics of finance and accounts,
Very much.
so that he is on the top of it, hands-on, and also accepted by the team much better.
Yes.
What sort of taxation laws and rules should a person know if someone is coming into business? Direct, indirect, all sorts of
Yeah,
taxation.
yeah.
What?
If someone is coming to business at this point of time, for them it will be very easy, because from the direct taxes point of view, we have income tax obviously. If a person is running companies, they will have the application of the company's taxation. If it is he is running LLP or partnership, they will have a different tax bracket. For the individual, definitely it is a different tax bracket. So knowing these tax brackets and understanding the quantum of tax you want to save for yourself, so that for that purpose of planning you should know the basic taxation. What are the government has given in this Income Tax Act the facilities for you to avail the or plan your taxes. Tax avoidance should never be learned, because ultimately it will harm to you. So tax planning will only help you. Understanding the different facilities have been given in the Income Tax Act for a particular financial year. So please go through all these things in detail. These are very simple. You should understand your domain only, need not to learn the entire tax subject, but you should learn it, you should understand it, so that you can have your own view from the entrepreneur point of view. You can plan and suggest ideas to the people how to go ahead with that. From the indirect tax point of view, now it is one act, that is your GST, Goods and Services Tax Act. So it is also not that complicated at present, though there are different forms which you need not fill up. The professionals will fill up for you, but you should understand how you can again plan your tax over here. So the only tax planning is a part which entrepreneur should learn and understand to save their money to invest further in other expenditures or expansions.
You spoke about one area on which we have not discussed much, actuarial science.
Yes.
So what exactly is the career of an actuarial professional, and what does it involve? What value do they bring into business, and what sort of education is required for that?
For the actuarial science, it's not necessary that you should have only commerce. Even the science students, they can further go ahead with the actuarial science. This actuarial science basically is about the valuation of a particular venture, project, any road construction or anything big, and it is more related to the insurance and the coverage of the particular project. So the understanding of the actuarial science is for the knowledge, and it's about the risk analysis of a particular project, a particular business, where how insured our profit is, how insured the property is, and how insured the business is, and how we can save and plan these industry in such a way so that it will have a less risk bearing problems.
Okay. So basically it's risk management.
Yeah, kind of risk management.
Yeah. Understanding
the name itself is actuarial science. You can understand that it will depend on the projected valuations and the actual what has come up.
Still what's come up.
Yeah.
And it also talks about new product development.
Yeah, definitely it talks about the new product development as well. So the understanding of the geographical location, understanding of the availability of the raw material,
Right.
cheaper labors, good market, demand and supply, all these things can be considered and a project report can be prepared.
Now, given the fact that there is a huge amount of simplification of the system,
Yes.
completely going online, bringing in digital payments, digital taxation and all
Yes.
that, and also on the other side that simplification has come in the form of GST as well.
Yes.
What sort of career opportunities you are seeing? Is it shrinking or expanding?
No.
What sort of career opportunities in the finance and accounts area?
Yeah, being in this profession, when this GST era was coming in and it was started when many small businessmen started looking for the GST consultants.
Right.
So many of the accountants, after leaving for home, after 8 o'clock, they are practicing as the GST consultant. They have been given certificates. Even in this lockdown period, many of the courses have come up in the internet
Right.
to be learned and get the certification and practice even on the platforms. So it is a very good opportunity for the finance people or the people who are into the commerce industry or the commerce studies. So if I would say from my perspective, I love if every year finance budgets gets changes with few of the new acts, new laws, new complicated calculations or simple
So that
calculations,
consultants
so my
the
business
professionals.
continues. So I feel very bad if there is no change in the budget as such in the act, or it should be for the improvement of the people. If it is not there, I don't feel good about it then.
Okay, that's interesting to look at.
Yeah.
So the role of the consultants and the professionals in the domain of finance sector and commerce would continue.
Yeah.
There are certain banking challenges, as we have noted earlier. INPay is one.
Yeah.
So how do you look at these banking challenges, and what sort of suggestions you have to handle the challenges?
See, for the banking challenges, I have only one suggestion. Your loan should never exceed the 50% of the value of your property, even though banks are offering 70% loan or 80% loan. Make sure to be secured into the business. We don't have to earn extra money by doing this share business or anything. Keep your loans to the tune and the value of 50% of the worth of your property. Even if the market declines, your loan will be secured. Your repayment capacity will remain. Just giving you a simple example of the real estate, what has happened? Whenever the land was bought, in some way or other, to purchase the land, even the loan was taken, which is not allowed as per the norms. For buying land, the company should not be granted loan, but it has been granted. It's not required to even give names. All have read in the newspaper. So you can understand now, in a Bengali rather, I would like to show frying the fish in the fish's oil. So yes, so this cannot be. You cannot fry the fish in the fish's oil. If you keep on doing so, some fishes may not have that good quantum of oil. Then what will you do? So let us be honest about it, and let us have a clear concept that I will not have a sleepless night if I will have the loan amount only to the quantum of 50% of my value of the property. Even if the value of the property reduces, I will be able to sell the property and repay the loan. That should be the concept.
Good.
This is my advice for everyone.
Good formula that we should have real property and only 50% of the valuation should be taken as loan or given as loan by a bank.
Yes.
Last question.
Yes.
For people who should come in this profession of accounts, commerce, banking, cost accountancy, chartered accountancy, valuator, and this entire domain, finance domain, whoever should come, what sort of skill sets and attitude should the person have as a beginner at 18 years of age, 19 years of age? What sort of skill sets and attitude should they have?
Yeah. See, the way the commerce is being studied in the colleges and the universities or any other professional platform even, they cover each and every nook and corners of the business which a larger business or a small business requires. Suppose I am having a partnership industry.
Right.
So, these courses will have merging of the partnership. Two partners get merged, one partner gets added, one partner is removed, one partner died. So, everything is covered over there. So, my suggestion is utilize your full time on each particular topic in a proper manner. Why do people love to study chartered accountants? It is one reason only, because it covers the entire syllabus of the business. It is about the issue of the shares, your issue of the debentures, raising loans, cost calculation of the costing, finding out the DP ratio, your all the ratios calculation, everything. So, all the professional qualification like MBA, like cost accountant, like chartered accountant, like company secretary, they cover the most of the syllabus which is required for a particular industry. I don't find while working practically in my field in last 25 years that I have not touched a particular area which has not come across to me in the practical field. If we talk about the statistics is a science subject, but we are being taught in statistics in the commerce as well. The reason being, whenever you will compare last 3 years data or the 4 years data, it is all about statistics, nothing else. So, and what about the projection? It is about probabilities, nothing else. So, whatever has been taught, I would say little better than the basic knowledge should be understood. Don't read it, don't learn it, but understand it. That will make your life simpler, because it is very difficult for everyone to keep in mind everything at a moment, but at least looking at the word or the terminology which has been spoken about, you can understand what a person is trying to say, what a document is trying to say. This is the most important part of the commerce. The commerce is only maintained and accounted by the words which has been used. As I am saying revenue expenditure, revenue income, then I am saying capital expenditure, capital income, then I am saying deferred revenue expenditure, deferred revenue income. So you can understand a particular word revenue is taking a different form, or particular word expense is taking different forms. So to understand the terminology is very important.
Great. That brings us to the end of a discussion of almost an hour on the careers related to finance, accounts and commerce, and the various domains that can emanate from that. To start, someone must have a genuine interest in the business of in the affairs of business, or business of the nation, or business of an organization. So to understand where does the money come from, how is it being planned, how it is being spent, and how it is being accounted for, and what are the components that the person has to give as taxes, what are the various types of taxes. Now a clarity on that is the starting point of a career in commerce. A desire to know that is the starting point of a commerce career. And as she said, it's great to first become a BCom or BBA, which lays the foundation, and then to combine multiple courses, an MCom or an MBA, with a chartered accountants or cost accountancy or company secretaryship, and later on someone can also add on to that CFA or what you call actuarial science scholarship, insurance valuation,
techno-economic
valuator. All this can be added as you go ahead. So a 7-year plan or to 8-year plan can be done by youngsters early in life, at the 17th, 18th year of life, to really prepare oneself to embark upon a fabulous career in the domain of finance and accounts. Ms. Anju Mitra, Chief Finance Officer, Rice Education, and currently the group encompassing the Rice training centers, Adamas schools and Adamas University together, who is in charge of that, and she has got more than 2.5 decades of experience of managing organizational finance, organizational accounts, compliances and all that. She has spoken to you about how you begin your journey, a lifetime journey in the field of finance and commerce. With that, we bring this session to an end, and we shall come up with another session focusing on another career another day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.